Welcome, everyone, to the L7C podcast, OSU football edition. We are back reviewing the first game of the year, number 2 versus number 5 in the shoe against Notre Dame. We got the captain with us, Byron Mitchell. How are you doing today, sir?
I am doing great today. How are you?
Good, man. It's Tuesday after a spoiler alert. Buckeye win, man. Can't complain.
Yes, sir.
And then we got our main man, the anime expert himself, Mr. Cedric Ware. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing well, sir. How are you?
Good. Still a little hungry. Can't lie though, but I'm doing good. I'm doing good. But let's get right into this, man. Byron and Cedric, we had number 2 versus number 5. We previewed this game. It was definitely a lot low scoring than we previewed. Ohio State came out on top 21-10. And before I just toss it to you guys, Byron and Cedric, for the breakdown and all that stuff, I do just want to say that everyone was at that game star-wise, like the O2 national championship team, Justin Fields, like Zeke, LeBron's family, like all of our top recruits for the next couple of years. So for those people who think night games and game day doesn't matter, I point to that game.
Yeah, it definitely was a star-studded affair. Definitely saw a lot of past Ohio State players, like you said. I saw Chris Olave, the standout receiver from last year. I didn't see Garrett Wilson, but he could have been there, and they just didn't show him. But a very star-studded affair.
And even JB.
Yeah, Joe Burrow was there. Man, I'm just telling y'all, I mean, the people who think night games don't matter for the recruitment and all that, you're crazy. But Byron, take it away, man.
It was overall a good game. Definitely love to see that the defense improved from last year. They definitely were getting after the ball carrier. Last year, not so much they didn't swarm to the ball carrier, but definitely in this first game, they definitely swarmed the ball carrier on defense, which was great to see. We didn't have any turnovers, which is fine, whatever, but it was definitely a low scoring game. On Notre Dame side, they scored, I think, they scored in the first quarter and the second quarter, but didn't score in the second half at all. CJ Stroud had a good night. He had 24 for 34 for 223 yards and 2 touchdowns. Trivia Henderson had 15 carries for 91 yards. Mayan Williams had 14 carries for 84 yards. Smith and Jigba had a quiet night. He had 2 for 3 catches because he got injured, and I think they said he'll be out for 1 to 2 weeks, which is fine because we have receivers, very good receivers that can step up. Emeka Ibuka had 9 receptions for 90 yards and a touchdown. Marvin Harrison Jr. had 5 catches for 56 yards. And then Javion Johnson had 2 catches for 34 yards and a touchdown. So pretty much everyone on offense contributed. We had Kate Stover, Maya Williams, and Jake Ballard. They all caught passes from Stroud. Definitely love, like I said, my favorite thing about Saturday was the defense.
Speaking of that defense, just was Kerry Combs at the game, Byron?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know if he
was probably looking for you.
Getting fired.
He's probably looking for you.
I wasn't there. I was in Cincy.
Yeah, that's probably why he didn't show up. I don't know if Byron's there, and I'm gonna I'll be here. I'll be there in spirit.
Oh man. Halftime, we were down 10-7. Cedric, when we were down by 3 at halftime, did you have any levels of concern about the offense or anything?
Yeah, levels of concern so far as that we wouldn't cover the spread,
which we did not.
I honestly just was like, well, it's 10-7. It's still tight. Our defense got us a couple stops right before half, and so you got a whole lot of time to figure out some things, make it work, get things flowing. I think they came back really charged with the run game, a lot more focused in the second half. And our defense just stayed consistent, just continued stopping them out. I mean, I think they didn't even let's say they got 72 yards, 70 yards the entire second half. So beautiful performance by our defense coming into that second half. But yeah, I was it's like, well, we're not going to cover the spread. That's not going to happen.
No, because the spread was 17.5, which obviously we did not cover that. And just for both of you guys too, when we went to the fourth quarter, it was 14-10. That's when you start getting a little nervous. Yeah, who cares about the spread? We need to get out with a win.
Oh yeah, definitely was nervous. Offense for me was a little shaky. I was a little nervous that I don't know, it just felt odd seeing the high explosiveness from the Utah game to this was just odd to me. And then we've always been a second half team, but that third quarter up until the last 17 seconds, we were still struggling on offense. And then we finally got it together with that touchdown to Xavier Johnson, and then our offense kind of boomed from there.
Do you think we underestimated Notre Dame's defense?
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely think we did.
I mean, there was a lot of good pressure that first half on CJ Stroud. I mean, a lot of confusing looks, especially with the secondary. I mean, if you rewatch the game, you'll see a lot of checkdowns where options that he is going to immediately close up the minute he looks. They were watching his checkdowns. They came very prepared for him.
Yeah, especially you're right, Cedric. That first half, they were getting to him. Our line was not holding up at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They were getting to them, which odds makers and maybe Buckeye fans and Paul Finebaum, Mouth of the South, saying that we were going to boat race Notre Dame, which was not the case. We pulled away late, and defense got the win for us. But you could say now that we've already had a game that we've been tested out of the way, and we saw how we performed defense-wise, which I know this podcast, that was our main concern.
Yeah. Going from giving up 45 to Utah to only giving up to 10 to a very game Notre Dame feels good.
It's definitely a better start with containing the scoring. I mean, normally when we open up first games of the week, it's just let's see who can score the most type of game. And it was nice to see all right, we're just going to stop y'all from scoring. Y'all ain't scoring no more points. And that their offense is no joke. I mean, that first half, they scored 10.
Yep, 10 points.
They scored 10, but it was pretty efficient 10. It wasn't we just got lucky here with the field position or something like that. It's no, we're going to drive down the field and we're going to score points. We're going to score a touchdown, drive down the field. Or not, they got a field goal and then a touchdown. It was pretty quick for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious what they will do the rest of the season because, I mean, a lot of people may walk away from this and say, I mean, they only scored 10 points against Ohio State. Are they good enough? It's I wouldn't sleep on them. I would not sleep on them.
Yeah, no, I agree, especially with the whole new head coach in his first game against his alma mater, new coaching staff, all of that. They're only going to get better if they stay the course because they're going into their locker room everyone thought we were going to lose by 17 or more, and we took it all the way to the fourth quarter, so they got to be feeling a little good. I know people don't like moral victories, but for Notre Dame, I mean, that's as good a moral victory as you can get.
Yeah, because not getting throttled by Ohio State, who's pretty much returning all their starters on offense, except for Olave and Wilson, to only walk away with them scoring 21 points definitely has to be a feel-good win for Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, and the place looked fantastic from a TV perspective. Seeing the fans, there was 106,000 people who went to that game, and at night, and just seeing that just really made you think football is really back. Night game in the shoe, packed stadium. You can't beat anything better than that. Anything else on this game, guys?
I think. I don't know who it was, but I think their tight end is probably going to be a standout receiver for Notre Dame because he kept finding the holes in our defense. I mean, he had 5 catches for 32 yards, which is not a lot, but he definitely was open a lot. on the field.
The tight end wasn't the one who had the catch of like the game, right? Or was that him?
No, that was the walk-on number 29.
Yeah,
That catch was
that was an
wild.
amazing catch. Yeah, to bat it to yourself and catch it while falling down. Acrobatic as
Yeah, it
hell.
was what's his name? Matt Salerno.
See, those were one of those plays when I stared at it, I was like, this might be a problematic game if they're getting plays like that.
Mm-hmm.
But going from that game, only Ohio State University can beat a top 5 team by double digits and drop in the rankings. Only Ohio State. The rankings just came out today. Alabama stayed at number 1. I don't know how many times you guys saw during halftime, obviously, where they kept showing Alabama's looking so good against.
Oh my gosh, that was really pissing me
yes!
off.
I didn't know if it was
I'm
just
like,
the broadcast we were watching or like if.
No,
I'm
yeah,
like,
that
why does anyone care about Alabama's week 1? They're playing Utah. No one cares.
That wasn't even the real that wasn't even the real Utah. That was, man, what were their names? Oh,
It's
man.
like what, Utah Tech or something like that?
I thought it was.
Well, it's Utah State. My apologies.
Yeah, Utah
the real
State,
Utah
State.
played Florida.
Right.
But yeah, they kept showing it every time. They're like, man, they're looking real good. Bryce Young's looking real good.
I bet. I bet.
Right, you guys are playing a high school football team.
I know, we're out here fighting against a top 5 team.
You know what's that? The team that jumped us, I gotta give them respect. Y'all know I fucks with Georgia on the low.
It was Utah State. They won 55-0. Yes, Georgia did jump us, which I think we all saw coming because they destroyed Oregon, who was number 11 in the country, and now they ain't even there no more.
They're all dropped all the way out of the rankings.
Yeah, they're out. They're out. So, new top 10. You got Alabama 1, Georgia 2, Ohio State 3, Michigan 4, Clemson 5. They dropped after winning by 30 yesterday. Texas A&M 6, Oklahoma 7, Notre Dame drops 8, Baylor 9, USC at 10. And then, as people are already saying, they're getting the SEC narrative ready. Florida had one of the better games of the night when they beat Utah in a last-second interception. They went from unranked all the way to 12.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
And Utah dropped from top 7 to 13. So they up there above Utah because they beat Utah. Yeah, but they went from unranked to 12, and people are saying, get ready. They're doing that. So when Georgia plays Florida, if they slip up, they can be like, no, they lost to a top Florida team that no one expected.
Man, that's magic right there. I could see it. Like, I'm pulling it up now. I was like, that's true magic right there. Like, you go from unranked to 12. The other unranked team, Tennessee, came in unranked to 24.
Yeah, that's it. So the two, you're right, Sage, that's a really good point, man. The unranked teams that both went into the top 25, both SEC teams.
Like, dear Lord, what does we do?
Both in the SEC East too, Tennessee and Florida. And obviously we have a long way to go, but just seeing those type of jumps is like, ooh, that's okay.
Hold on a second.
SEC
How many SEC teams are in the top 25 right now?
1, 2, Texas A&M's 3, Florida 4, Arkansas 5, Kentucky 6,
8.
Jeez. Oh yeah, Ole Miss, Tennessee. Yeah, 8 out of the top 25 right now.
These niggas ain't no joke. The power is strong over there.
Shoot, if you want to cheat in a couple of years, it's
gonna be bad.
Yeah, because Oklahoma would count for them,
and Texas,
Texas is in the top 25.
Oh,
Texas ain't in there.
Never mind. I thought Texas was ranked. Sorry.
Listen, man, that boy ain't like he's slinging the rock, but he ain't slinging it like that.
Oh, I mean, they're pumping up this Saturday's game, Alabama versus Texas. Big deal.
I bet it's going to be televised. We're going to all see it.
Oh, it's on Fox, 12 p.m. while we're playing on the Big Ten Network.
Listen here, Texas. If you know anything, I mean, shit, you beat them, y'all may be a top 5 team in the country.
They will. Yeah. Well,
I'm serious. I mean, Florida beats a number 12 Utah. No, number 7 Utah is in number 12.
Yep.
It's your path. You knock them off, you win.
You know what's crazy too? They would do that, and they'll have Alabama ranked 1 above them. Be like, man, Alabama just had a bad game.
Man, no, they show they show Alabama climbing back in the back scenes. Put Alabama at like a 10 or something, and then start jumping everybody because they start beating everybody again.
Yeah, so that's the top 10, top 25. Looking at 8 SEC teams, we got Big Ten teams. I'm shocked. Michigan's at 4. I'm not gonna lie. They were at number 8, and now they're at 4.
Who they play? Colorado State beat them 51-7.
I mean, as much as I do not like them for familial reasons, they played a damn good game.
Oh yeah, they played well. That jump was large. I just didn't think they
4 spots.
Yes, because Notre Dame lost, and then
I mean USC and them both jumped 4.
Yeah, USC's in the top 10 now.
Arkansas jumped 3.
BYU jumped 4.
Yep.
Oh, man, that's crazy. But bigger news. We were all getting ready for this Buckeye game leading up to the week, and then out of nowhere, College Football Playoff Committee officially are making the 12-team bracket that's supposed to start in 2026. But if these presidents and whatnot want to push more money to it, they'll get it started sooner rather than later. Details on the format as of right now, obviously this stuff has to get hashed out. The 6 highest ranked conference champions would be in, and then the 6 highest ranked non-champs. The top 4 conference champs receive first round buys. Higher seeds host first round games, and quarter and semifinal matchups played in bowl games and title game at neutral site. What do you guys think of those? Still has to be finalized how they're going to do. First, going from 4 to 12, and then having those type of rules. What do you guys think of those? I got a lot of thoughts. And I was asking people in our fantasy football thing their thoughts. But what are you guys thinking of these?
4 to 12 is a big jump. Like when I first thought they would expand it, I think they would maybe go to like 8, 10 teams. But 4 to 12 is a huge jump. I, for one, am excited because I like the idea of more teams getting a chance to play for a national championship. We'll see how 12 works. I do like that the 4 top conference champions get a first round bye. I think that's a good idea. And then I like how the 6 non-conference champs, like non-Power 5 conference champs, get a chance to play. I think that's a good addition as well.
Cedric, what do you think?
I think that it's definitely a plan for the future. I mean, there's no joke that this committee has anticipated kind of what the breakdown in college football conferences is going to be like here in the next few years. Because as we said in the last podcast, it's like, if you're not in the SEC, you're in the Big Ten. If you're not in those 2 conferences to compete, then you may not even have a shot to really get in the 4-team playoff. So I think this move is a very conscious idea of like, look, like we need to make sure that we're still securing it for other teams to get ways into this playoff and highlight their talent and get a chance to fight for that title.
So some of the things I thought about, like what you said, Cedric, that we said last time, what you highlighted today about the Big Ten and the SEC. Some people are thinking we're going to be the only 2 conferences left in these next couple years. So then what happens to the 6 highest ranked conferences?
Oh, well, we changed that to however many conferences is left, honestly, unless they start working to get some schools. But I mean, not to say that we're poaching out here, but we low-key, like the SEC and the Big Ten are low-key poaching out here. Like, the teams that are coming to these conferences are the highest watched teams from other conferences. And so it's going to be on them to try to bolster back up. I don't know if you try to make out invitations to other places. I mean, I guess a decent example is Notre Dame in the ACC. Because for years and years and years, like, Notre Dame was either not a conference or they tried like the Big East and then got into the ACC. It's like, hey, eventually you may have to like try to get some of these other teams to come to your conference. I don't know kind of what that money grab is, especially with NIL. Like, that's a whole nother plot twist to everything. It's like, yeah, like, you're playing against the best of the best in our conferences. So, like, of course, if you're successful, if you're winning games, that's going to get you money too. Because people are going to be like, oh, yeah, they're beating the best of the best. Like, we want that person to represent our logo or our brand. So I don't know what they'll have to do. I feel like that's something they have time for, honestly, because, I mean, they said the rollout wasn't until 2026. I mean, they could always change and say, you know what, you're being a little bit aggressive with 12. Let's roll it back to, like Byron said, to 8.
Yeah, I agree, because I'm just thinking of this stuff like, one, this was really out of nowhere. I know there was rumors, but to go from 4 to 12 is something. And I was thinking about the argument. It's like, oh man, if we ever have that 3-loss Texas A&M should really be in before that 2-loss Ohio State. Like, because we're not going to win the conference every year. Like,
Right.
And there's going to be times where we get in at large. In theory, which it's only, I think, only happens like maybe once or twice in our, take out Cooper from Tressel to Day. It's not like we've ever been out of like the top 12. So in theory, we should have a chance every year. In theory.
In theory, yes.
Yeah.
But Cedric, you brought up name, image, and likeness money, which is a real big deal, because another thing is that this is going to be more games. Like, now you're having like some college kids who aren't going to go to the NFL. Most of them aren't. They're going to be playing potentially like 18 games.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
So it's like, so what do we do for that? Because some of these people, they got class. Like, if you got to play an extra 4 to 6 games, and obviously you got to think about like the scheduling, like those are some semantics that they got to work out. So having college kids playing 18 games with like really no rest, because we don't know what the time gaps are going to be, because usually in the playoffs, conference championship ends in December. You don't play till January for like the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
What's that going to be now?
That maybe, because I know like from the bowl games, like the playoff bowl games to the championship, I think it's like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if they would give like 2 weeks between each like playoff game. They might give a week, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like, even then though, like a week or 2 weeks, that time is spent on preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, them kids, like, that's a good point, Martin. I honestly don't know what you do, because I mean, this isn't like the NFL or any professional other sports where you could be like, oh, we have like this set of our roster going because such and such, this person has a test.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you never had to like even think about it or consider that. Like, yo, Jackson Smith and Jigma has finals. So what are we going to do? Like, we need him these next 3 weeks to be on the field in practice, engaged with the team, because like, we need to go win this ship. So I honestly have no idea what they're going to do. It's going to be an interesting time unless they try to overhaul the entire college educational system.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, because people forget, like, a lot of Jackson's obviously going to go to the NFL. All that. You can't play if you're ineligible, though.
That's true.
So if that teacher says that they don't take this final, they can't play, then what you going to do about that? And my other thing is too with recruitment, because now December is the biggest like signing day. They've basically, national signing days moved to like December and all that. how are you going to have recruitment and then you have the top teams who are getting the top recruits in the playoffs at the same time as like National Signing Day? The coaches can't go out there and recruit and get ready for the playoffs if you're playing like games in December and all that. How's that going to work?
I feel like they would move like National Signing Day to like after the championship, like when all coaches are available, and just like move it to like February or something.
Because go ahead, Cedric.
Oh, no, that's good. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, because we know high school football ends around that time. So that's when you're trying to get your commits, like right when they're done with their season. So there's a lot of things they're going to have to work out. And I wonder if, since they're expanding that, are they going to expand the committee to have different talking people in there? Because I'm saying people, we already know how it goes. If you're undefeated, you go to the SEC championship game, both y'all getting in. So that's like one spot. Big Ten, depending on how everyone acts accordingly, that'd be us. I would like some more variety in there. I want to give them a chance to like a UCF if they're undefeated, or like a Cincinnati, or hopefully those like Byronsport. Hopefully they always get those chances, or we're not sitting there listening to arguments about a 3-loss Texas A&M against an undefeated Cincinnati who should get in.
I hope not. Like I said, I hope that with the expanding playoffs, like more teams get a chance to play for the national championship. Like Cincinnati had an amazing year last year. They got to be in the playoffs. I hope more teams like that get into the playoffs with this in 2026 with the expanded playoff pool.
Well, like Cedric just read it out on the last thing, 8 SEC teams in the top 25. All you got to do is put them in certain ways, and then you can, in theory, in real theory, you can have the conference champs, and then the next 6 be all SEC teams, depending on the rankings. Because it just says the next top 6. That's where I'm like, ooh, I don't want, especially since ESPN's the one who does this stuff, and they have that deal with the SEC. That's when I was like, I don't like this. That's why I want a different body making the decisions on who gets in. Now Byron's thinking, he's like, oh no.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at the rankings now, and it's say if they were like the final rankings in 2026 with Oklahoma and like Texas being the SEC. Like right now, like the top 12 have 6 SEC teams, including Oklahoma in 2026.
See, that's half the thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. They need a bigger committee of like non-Power 5 coaches.
Because
I need there to be a clause, like a limit. Like, I hate to be that guy that says it, and I understand that there may be a like you said, a good argument for a 3-loss Texans A&M team. They lost to the 3 best teams in the country or whatever. I'm sorry, my guy. That's doing the most. Like, that truly is doing the most. We got 3, like, you got 3 losses and we letting you up in here?
Yeah, because it's just the 6 highest ranked non-champs after the 6 highest ranked conference champions.
Man.
So, yeah.
The SEC loves to stack those schedules.
Oh, yeah. They'll be like, look at our schedule. I mean, Texas A&M lost to Georgia, Alabama, and Florida, who all 3 are in the playoffs. So if we're only losing a playoff teams, they should be in there too. And I don't know why I keep picking Texas A&M, even though I know they want the smoke with Bam, and I'm cheering for them in October. So, but they're just an example.
That's the only reason why you're picking it, Texas A&M. I mean, they are ranked 6th right now, so hopefully we'll see.
Oh yeah, they gotta start taking some people out in October.
Bam was the first one.
But we'll see, man. But in theory, we should be in every year. My concern will be if we don't win the conference championship, because now with Oklahoma and Texas, even though until Texas is good, those teams are being the SEC. They're like, oh, they played a tougher schedule than Ohio State, so that's my only concerns. But I don't
hopefully USC and UCLA booster our chances in 2026.
Well, you're half
Hopefully,
right,
fingers
Matt.
crossed.
Seeing Lincoln Riley and his squad out there this past weekend, I was like, you half right.
Shoot, I think when we start playing them, Lincoln Riley needs to host the L7C at his house.
Which house?
the school bought for him in California with the jet that his kids can use to go to class. That house.
I just want to, man, fuck that. Let's be on the jet.
That would be
Facts.
Yeah, well, I would ask
Lincoln,
him.
we'll be done before the flight's over.
That's true. I would ask him too. I was like, "Do you think you deserve all this?
Huh?
You got no rings."
He gonna hand you a parachute.
Right. All right, you can find your way home.
Oh man, but that's very interesting with the playoff thing. Let us know what you guys think, because there's a lot of different stuff. Because let's just be honest, we already know about the SEC bias. It's here, like it's all out in the open. Anyone who doesn't believe it, you're kidding yourselves. So we'll see how that goes. So we do have a game this Saturday against Arkansas State. I don't know if you guys have seen the spread, but we are a 44-point favorite.
Yes, we are.
Oh man, I love the people who draw these lines. They're funny.
It's at 12 o'clock on the Big Ten Network.
Like, I'll be honest, I have no idea what the hell Arkansas State even does, but I just love it's like 44. Like, just offer it 44 points.
Yeah, and if you want to go to the game, obviously the Notre Dame game tickets were in the thousands. This game you can get in for $20 if you want to.
You sure can.
There we go. That good, man. That's that good game pricing.
But yeah, we got Arkansas State Red Wolves coming into town. Then we'll have Toledo after that, and then we'll have Wisconsin. So a couple little tune-ups before the end of September matchup against Big Ten Wisconsin. Do you guys think we're going to cover the spread? I don't think there's much. I think we're all picking the Buckeyes to win this pretty handily. But do you think they're going to win by 44?
Maybe. I'm just looking at like Arkansas State's stats from their last game against Grambling, where they won 58-3.
Grambling,
right? Yeah,
58-3.
Yeah.
I
mean, their top receiver had 7 catches for 122 yards and a touchdown.
I don't think they're going to win by 44. I think they'll win by like 30, and then they'll be up by like 30 at halftime, and then pull everyone out. Hopefully,
that'll be smart.
I see like a 50.
They run the ball.
Yeah, they have like 339 rushing yards last game.
Well, they have 6 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
2 from their quarterback.
Oh, mobile QB.
Well, let's not get
for like
crazy.
11 yards.
I was going to say, let's not get crazy now.
But I think OSU wins by like 30. 40 something is too. That's a lot, man.
Yeah,
I would not put money on that.
I tell you what, though, I need them lock down this Fleming's guy, Denzel Burke, my guy, who let that walk on get that lucky grab.
Yeah, he did.
Don't be a Sean Wade out here. Don't be a Sean Wade.
No, not Sean. And then there's not really, even though they're pumping up this Alabama-Texas game.
It's a 10-point spread.
You know,
Oh, no, 20-point spread.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest game of the weekend.
Well, there are 2 couple like Tennessee and Pittsburgh. They play each other, and they're both ranked. Tennessee's a 6.5-point favorite.
Well,
another one.
Kentucky's ranked, aren't they?
Yeah, Kentucky and Florida.
Oh yeah, because now Florida.
That's a night game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because now it's a big deal. 2 SEC ranked teams.
Yeah, Florida's a 5-point favorite.
Oh man,
as they should be. Shoot, they jump from non-ranked to 20 to 12.
And then Baylor and BYU play.
Baylor's just,
and they're both ranked, and they're BYU. Actually, BYU is 3.5-point favorites.
Well, that's tucked in bedtime though. That's 10:15.
I mean, but overall, it was a very good opening weekend of college football. A lot of craziness from start to finish. Brian Kelly, they already should let him go.
There was only one game.
Nah, it's time to go.
Bro, that was horrible.
It's time to go.
He lost by a blocked field goal.
Nah, man.
Bro, how
extra
you lose
point.
by a blocked field goal? Like, come on, man. Like, and I get that Florida State is wild sometimes, but like, bruh.
Nah, it's time. I was like, you losing like this, so I can't even trust you to upset one of them big SEC teams. Like, I can't do it. Like, nah.
Like, shoot, at least they ain't losing like East Carolina, because that kicker's the most hated man on that campus right now.
Bro, yeah, that was, and then there was North Carolina and Appalachian State.
Oh yeah,
They scored.
Man, my guy, man,
they scored 40
like 40 points
and lost. Man,
hey, that was on number, I think it's 17. Mm-hmm. He had that nice catch. It was a beautiful grab. He would have held on, and then you saw the quarterback look at him again. He's like, "I can't go with you again, my guy. I may have to try to run this in," and then fumbled on the goal line. Man.
Yeah, that's to score. First of all, Mac Brown, I'd be letting his ass go too. How you let a team score 40 points in the fourth quarter on you?
Hey, he was happy.
Wild.
He was smiling at the end of the game.
He was dancing in the locker room.
He was like, "Yeah, hey, we still here."
Oh man,
40 points. That is
Byron,
insane.
when we come back,
that's why I can't wait for Notre Dame to play them.
That's gonna be so. Byron, when we come back next week, what's gonna be the score of the game?
Of the Ohio State game?
Mm-hmm.
There are 44-point favorites, which I don't think we'll cover. I'm gonna say I'll give Arkansas State. I'll give them 2 touchdowns. Like last minute touchdowns and garbage time. I'm gonna say 42-14. I feel like that's a nice solid
Cedric,
score.
what do you think?
I'm going 45-6.
Okay. Move 2 field goals. All right. You heard those scores. Thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. Glad that we can have these Buckeye weekly episodes. Glad we started off with a top 5 win by double digits. Don't care what the polls say. We had the best win of the weekend, but we're here, man. We're going to keep coming. Hopefully we get to see some of the offense, and hopefully they're out by halftime because we don't want to risk any more injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. Buckeyes are 1-0 and go Bucks.
Go Bucks.